Now, we have 25% tariffs on steel today, but we've signed a deal, we've done a deal with the US that will bring those down to zero.
It is chaos, chaos, chaos. And isn't the root of the chaos, Mr. Speaker, that it is about this Prime Minister, his decisions and his judgment?
Keir Starmer's US trade agreement started to look a little shaky after President Trump signed an executive order hiking steel tariffs again and warning the UK it had until the 9th of July to finalise its deal or face an economic squeeze like everyone else.
We're the only country in the world that isn't paying the 50% tax on steel.
The Prime Minister thought he'd secured 0% tariffs for British steel, but now Trump is threatening us with 50% unless we comply with his new 5-week deadline.
In March, President Trump hiked tariffs on steel and aluminium to 25% ahead of April's so-called Liberation Day, which created havoc on financial markets. In May, the UK government celebrated the signing of the Economic Prosperity Deal, which was supposed to bring aluminium and steel tariffs to zero, as well as reducing the charge for car exports to 10%. But the deal has not yet been signed, and now we know there's a deadline on the 9th of July.
Well, it's mixed news, to be honest. On one hand, it's a great relief to still be facing 25% tariffs instead of the 50% the rest of the world is facing.
But it's not zero.
It's not zero, and it's not the zero we were promised 3 weeks ago. And we do have to recognise the fact that the government tried really hard to secure this 25%, because up to last night it wasn't a given.
How confident are you that the deal will get done?
Well, I'm hopeful, and certainly, you know,
Hopeful or confident?
I mean, it's hard to say, because the US clearly is trying to make it hard for anyone trying to get a deal with them.
This is a maxed out deal that we're going to make bigger.
The Oval Office Lovin may have won the UK the first US deal.
What a beautiful accent, too.
But in the executive order, the president makes clear that on or after the 9th of July, the tariffs could reduce in line with the Economic Prosperity Deal, or instead it could
increase the applicable rates of duty to 50% if he determines that the United Kingdom has not complied with the relevant aspects of the Economic Prosperity Deal.
The surprise decree left many companies across Britain confused and panicked. What are your members telling you?
Well, there's the short-term implications. So when tariffs are announced, for example, with 4 days' notice, there are shipments that are on their way to the US that may or may not face a different level of tariffs to what they were expecting to. So that's the kind of more immediate impact. Then there's the impact on orders.
Even in the US, the Congressional Budget Office today said new tariffs would burn through economic growth, leaving all sides out of shape. But being the first to sign a trade deal has turned out to be a baptism of fire, with no guarantee British interests won't get burnt.
Now, much has been made of the cooling of the bromance between President Trump and Elon Musk. Things have reached a new low, though, with Mr. Musk voicing more objections to the president's upcoming tax-cutting Big Beautiful Bill, accusing him of driving the US into debt slavery. Today, the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, piled in, saying Mr. Musk's criticisms of the bill are flat wrong. Our Washington correspondent Siobhan Kennedy reports.
I expect to remain a friend and an advisor.
He promised to stay friends.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
He gave him a golden key. But all Elon Musk has unlocked so far is public condemnation of Trump's signature legislation, the Big Beautiful Bill. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore, Musk posted yesterday. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. It's a staggering about-turn for the man who just months ago was the biggest proponent of Trump's policies, but who now stands as the biggest critic. And this is the biggest cheerleader, the Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who today expressed his surprise at Musk's apparent 180.
I don't take it personal. We don't take it personal. You know, policy differences are not personal. I think he's flat wrong. I think he's way off on this, and I've told him as much, and I've said it publicly and privately. I'm very consistent in that.
This is what Musk is talking about. This line shows the dramatic rise in US national debt since 2000, which now stands at a staggering $36.2 trillion. And today, the Congressional Budget Office said Trump's big, beautiful bill would add another $2.4 trillion to that over the next 10 years.
The bill is passed.
The president's bill was passed in the House last month, but is yet to make it through the Senate. And the problem for Trump is some Republicans there say they can't back the bill as it stands.
But I can't, in good conscience, give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt. $2 trillion in debt this year is too much.
On the Hill today, some Republicans refused to wade into the Musk-Trump rift.
Senator, are the Republicans bankrupting America, as Elon Musk says?
Though Democrats did.
Is the spending bill an abomination?
Yes.
Others suggested Musk lashed out because the bill cuts subsidies for electric vehicles.
He also talked about the tax credits. So there's a variety of different ones. So
do you think he's being self-serving?
I don't necessarily think that. I just think that he's painted things with a broad brush, and I don't get the luxury of doing that. I have to deal with the details.
He's saying Republicans could bankrupt the country.
Well, I think everybody could bankrupt the country up here if we keep spending the way we're spending. And as I agreed with you, we are spending too much money. We can't continue to do that.
The president says he wants the bill on his desk by July the 4th.
It's the biggest bill ever passed, and we got to get it done.
But with senators jittery and Musk now railing on the sidelines, that could be ambitious.